Hey everybody, we're on the beach in Cancun, Mexico for our RHOC recap, except
There wasn't
a show.
a show last night. Why do you think that is, Rick?
I
think it was because it was something I said.
I-
And they're scrambling to make Heather look good.
I don't think it was because of something you said, although I do think you have that kind of power. I think it's because it's a holiday week between Christmas and New Year's, and so they take the week off because everyone's on vacation, including us here in Mexico,
Huh. Oh, wow.
on our way to Tulum.
So
where
I'm
we're-
glad it wasn't on because we couldn't have watched it anyway.
Yeah, they don't have Bravo in the Intercontinental El Presidente here in Cancun, so we weren't going to be able to watch the show. Well, we were going to watch it on the computer.
Yeah, I don't think you can because I think the government blocks stuff like
Oh.
that. I've tried to do that before when I was, out in other countries.
Well, the internet sucks here too, by the way.
Yeah.
But Kelly's been all over the news for the last couple of days, so we thought we'd just post a recap without an actual show to talk about, just to talk about all the stuff that's been flying around the internet and publications and blogs about Meghan King getting divorced and your Twitter war with Andy Cohen about ratings,
Right.
which has been very entertaining to be on the front row of that.
Well, the thing of it is, everybody's always saying to me, you are washed up, you are all this stuff. And I'm getting articles about Heather saying that she is cleaning up the mess that, how did it go?
They were trying to say that she was going to fix what you broke.
Yeah, she's fixed what she's broke. And then they said the ratings were better this year than last year. And I have my journalist reporter husband here that did the research and understands how things work in TV, since you've been on TV for 35 years.
Right. I worked in the industry for more than 35 years, really, but I was a reporter for 35 years. I know how ratings work. You know how ratings work. You've been on the show for 5 years. And so there was a story a couple weeks ago that claimed that Heather had brought the show back, and then the ratings were proving it, that she was saving the show. And the truth was that for those first 2 weeks, your season 15 actually beat the numbers, the overnight rating for season 16, both weeks.
And we only filmed for 4 weeks. We
Right.
had a self-film. Last year, they shouldn't even have put that product out, I don't think, at all, because we only shot for 4 weeks, which is, we do it for a greater of 16 weeks.
Right.
And,
You faced all kinds of challenges.
Yeah, we had
last
all
year.
kinds of challenges, and, I didn't like the shutdowns. I think that was horrible with all the, our kids weren't going to school. I mean, they missed a whole year of learning.
Yeah.
It was just driving me nuts.
But the point being that you had, when you were doing your season last year, you had to work around all this stuff that no one had ever seen before. The pandemic shut everything down.
And we had a self-film.
You had a self-film, and then when the show was airing, it was airing against the run-up to the 2020 presidential election. And if you remember last year around this time, it was insane. Well, not this time, 2 months ago. It was insane a year and 2 months ago. I mean, it was all anybody talked about was Trump versus Clinton, and who was going to win, and the nightly news was getting into riots and protests and demonstrations and COVID, and it was like 3 times as many viewers were watching.
It doesn't matter. So regardless, there's all these articles saying it wasn't my show, first and foremost, and it's not Heather's show. It's an ensemble cast. So all I did was do some research, and I asked Andy, "How's your reboot?" Because he said it was a reboot.
Let me read that tweet. I have the tweet right here. So you posted a tweet.
So I posted a tweet at Andy, and
the tweet read, "Wait, wasn't I the ratings problem? Wasn't there a boycott? We got over 1 million viewers, 14 out of 16 weeks last season, despite huge competition from election coverage on the news. This year, RHOC 16 under 1 million, 3 times in 4 weeks. Hey Andy, how's that reboot going?" That's what you tweeted.
I did.
And the next morning,
yeah,
Andy Cohen tweeted back, "Good morning. Reboot going great. Feels like a return to form for RHOC. Look at the delayed numbers, not live. That's what's measured. That's what's measured. The delayed numbers, not live." Well, first of all, of course they measure overnight ratings. That's what everyone goes on, is the overnight ratings. But if you think you have a lot of people watching on DVR and you want to include those people too, okay, then you count the delayed numbers. All right, so what are the delayed numbers? He never said. And they had delayed numbers last season too. So if you're going to count this year's delayed numbers, well, let's add the delayed numbers to last year's figures as well. So you were up by almost 200,000 viewers last week over last week's season episode 4. I know this is getting a little confusing, but you were beating them every week, and if you add the delayed numbers to both seasons, then you're going to continue to beat them every week.
I just want to know, like, the reboot. So things aren't going. I mean, people are, as far as my viewers, they're sick of her. I mean, from what I've read.
Heather. They do not like Heather.
I mean, people are turned off. They don't want to watch anymore, and there's too many new girls. So I hope your reboot works for you. I mean, just asking. How's that reboot going for you?
Right, and
that's all I was asking.
It wasn't. People keep saying you're bitter.
I'm not bitter. I'm glad I'm not on that. I couldn't be on that show with Heather. There's no way. There is no effing way I could. I mean, it would be a constant. I would be at a full out. I'd be in jail probably.
A lot of people have
I'd probably
said.
be arrested.
Well, a lot of people have said that they wish you were. You would have knocked her out. A lot of people say they wish that you were on the show because you're the only one who would stand up to her. There's no one. They're all scared of her.
The reason they're scared of her is because they made such hype about her saving the show and that she was the queen bee, and they made it like that. They set themselves up for failure. Now it's not interesting to watch because everyone's kissing her ass. It's a joke.
A lot of people.
And I'm not bitter. It's boring to watch now. I don't want to watch it. And I'm doing these recaps because I know everybody. But I listened to What Crappens. It was just right now, and they were making fun of, people. I know these people personally. We have Amy Phillips, who does a recap. We have everybody does their recaps. Why am I not allowed to do my recaps? I know these people. I've been on the show. I know the producers.
Well, and your fans want to hear what you have to think about the show, and that's evidenced by our YouTube numbers. I mean, the recap shows we put on YouTube are getting 15 to 25,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah.
We have like 75,000 views in 4 weeks or something like that.
So people want to hear what I have to say.
And we're loving it. It's so much fun to interact with you guys. And we have some of your comments we want to get to in a minute. I just also have to say, like, I worked for Fox News for 25 years, and Fox owns the Post. And so, the Post, and we were like brothers and sisters in the building there. But I hated the headline that they used about the article when you were tweeting at Andy, because it said, Andy Cohen explains ratings to Kelly Dodd. He didn't explain anything. He tried to divert. He threw up a smoke screen. He said, oh, it's not that, it's that. But we know how ratings work. He didn't explain anything.
Right, and everyone's like, oh, he slammed her. No, he didn't. Like, people just don't understand how things work, and they can spin it.
It's spin. That's the word I was looking for, spin. And the other thing that bothered me was that all these other articles, Us and People and OK and Daily Mail, and they all just take the story that someone else wrote and rewrite it themselves. They didn't reach out to us.
No.
They didn't ask for your comment or my comment or our comment about any of this stuff.
No, it's one article, and Ric's like, that's lazy journalists.
Make a phone call. Send an email. You can contact us on our Instagram. It has our business email address right there.
But it's like plagiarizing. It's like,
yeah, kind of.
I mean, that's what it feels like. The Sun is the only one that reached out to us.
The Sun reached out, and the New York Post reached out.
Yeah, but you see People Magazine and Us Weekly, they're just taking all the same stuff that I said to somebody else and used it, and then rehash. I find that lazy.
It is lazy. They're not making that one extra phone call.
No.
The other big story that was flying everywhere was the Meghan King Edmonds splitting from her husband of 2 months, Cuff Biden Owens.
Why do you have Biden? That's like me saying Kelly Mesa Dodd Leventhal.
Yeah, why is he hanging on to that name?
Why is he hanging on to Biden? Like, you're not a Biden. That's not your last name.
Wasn't that his mom? I mean, his mom's a sister.
That's his mom.
Her maiden name?
Yeah, that's her maiden name.
Right.
That'd be like my mom's last name is Garcia. That'd be like me going Kelly Garcia Dodd Leventhal.
So when they got married on our show, we talked about it, about how they had gotten married, because we talk about stuff like this on our podcast on Patreon. And we talked about how they'd gotten married after, as it turns out, 3 weeks of dating.
3 weeks. 3 weeks of dating.
And as someone who was in a very short marriage after a very short engagement, I knew like there's trouble ahead. You don't really know someone after 3 weeks, let alone 3 months. I mean, I told Kelly like we need 4 seasons.
I mean, I watch Criminal ID. Sometimes you know people after 25 years. They have like different families and stuff.
So we were kind of joking about it. We were very happy for her that she found a guy and she liked him and they got married. But at the same time, we're like, well, how long do you think this is going to last? Because you've only known this guy for a month, not even like. And she said a year and a half, and I said less than a year. And then we did like a little contest.
But why is it? How come we can't do that? But Howard Stern can do a death poll.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And how about I get ostracized for having a wedding and being at a saying I'm at a super spreader, but Jeff Lewis doesn't. I love Jeff Lewis. He knows how I feel about this whole pandemic thing.
Yeah.
And
I think people are just fed up. When you were outspoken about COVID and about the shutdowns and the lockdowns, it was very early in the game, and everyone was supposed to be obeying the rules. And you were the first person to
I was the first person to say you can't stop the spread. I'm sorry. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, you can't, or whatever you want to mask up, get your 50 million shots that don't work. You just got to get it and move on. Like any other seasonal flu.
When you say got to get it, you meant you just got to get sick, and then you get better, and then you keep going.
Better.
So, so people didn't like to hear that from you. They thought you were being irresponsible, and so you became a target for that.
You know.
And then, as it turns out, you were right about almost everything.
Yeah.
And no one's giving you credit for it.
Well, not to a lot of people. People are still scared. People are still scared. They still are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and I get it. If you're old and you're compromised, I absolutely understand. Shut up, kid.
But anyway, getting back to the Megan.
See, we're leaving for Tulum in a few hours, and it's gonna be all adults, so we won't be hearing these kids crying.
Yeah, no.
That's gonna be great.
So we did a contest, and we had a winner who this one person, one of our patrons on Patreon, guessed less than 6 months. So she won. So we said, and okay, we have a winner of the Megan King Edmonds whatever marriage contest, and we were giving her a hat and a candle. And
a little Labo candle.
And everyone was like, this is outrageous. How could you have a contest about how long our marriage is going to last? And we're all like, well, what did you think was going to happen? If you met you've known a guy 3 weeks and you get married.
Yeah, what do you think's going to happen?
Listen, she's friendly with Megan. Like, you guys are friends.
She texted me, how would you do something like that? Because I asked her about it. I gave her my condolences. And just to be clear, Megan and I were never really, really, really friends. Like, we were never friends. It was all for show. Now, have I, come to terms of being friendly with her and acquaintances with her? Yeah, but I don't call her on the daily. I don't know what's going on in her life. She's not my friend. She's not, and she never has been. And she's done a lot of damage to me, telling everybody I had a boyfriend and putting it out there. And that was a private conversation that she and I had. And so, she's
no love lost there.
Yeah,
but you're acquaintances, you're friendly with each other.
Yeah.
And this was not a mean-spirited thing. It was just like, okay, well, you're in the public eye, and so are we, and so how long people do it to us? They're like, this marriage won't last, or how long is it? Well, I think we've already beaten most of the odds. We're in for
the long haul.
we're in this for forever. But so you got a lot of heat for doing it. A lot of criticism, but it was not meant to be hurtful. It was just meant to be playful. And
right.
We're not celebrating her divorce or pending divorce. We're not celebrating the breakup. We're just talking about it and just having a little fun with it.
Yeah.
But maybe that makes us bad people. I don't know. I hope
Probably.
not. But the people write us a lot of stuff, a lot of nice things. You want to read a couple of these?
It is so hot outside here.
It is hot.
You're sweating bullets here.
I am sweating. Andy and RHOC are on the wrong side of history, someone said.
Be careful. Don't bite the hand that made you famous. Don't bite the hand that made you famous. I'm not biting any hands. I'm just asking about you guys are putting out these stories about me ruining the show. First of all, I didn't ruin the show last season. That was Bronwyn, by the way. She had fake storylines. She pretend alcoholic bull crap like that, and they gave her so much airtime.
Yeah.
And they didn't let me go on ET, and she disparaged our marriage, and she said I went out and gone all the time. Like, what a hypocrite. She's not even with her kids right now. She's living in New York. She's not with her 7 children. Like, and she's telling me.
She was giving you a hard time for going to New York to be with me when Jolie, your only daughter, was with her dad.
Right.
So.
And then calling me a racist because I wore a Drunk Wives Matter hat that was given to me for my shower that I didn't even buy or sport out. It was a play on words because I'm a housewife and I get drunk and it matters. It had nothing to do with BLM.
Well,
so people can spin.
They spin.
They spin.
And they let her get away with murder.
Yeah, and they let her get away with murder.
These comments are mostly about the Twitter thing, the ratings thing, and someone said, she ain't wrong. We want Kelly. It's horrible now. It's boring without you. Facts matter. Miss you on the show. The show is definitely missing your personality. The show now is all about Heather chastising everyone. It's boring AF. We know what that means. Also, Bravo clearly didn't understand who his RHOC audience actually was.
Well, that's the thing. So, Orange County, people don't know Orange County. It's a little bubble of California that's very, very, very conservative Republican. There's Trump things everywhere.
The flags fly
we
everywhere.
We don't wear masks. We are.
It's like normal.
It's like normal when you go there. When we go to LA, it's a mess. It's a holy mess over there.
Yeah.
And where we live, and so
I love Newport Beach.
If you're going to have a TV show of most of the ladies, not all of them, but most of them are Republican. Most of them are.
Yeah. They might not admit it.
Well, they can't.
They should have kept you, Kelly. I'm not a fan of the new people at all. It's fake. The suing was so bland. Heather is too extra for anybody to relate to also. Bravo is such a joke. God, Heather is unbearable. You need to bring Kelly back. WTF. It just goes on and on. I won't watch it now that you're not there. Heather couldn't cut it as an actress.
The thing of it is that
I miss you so much.
Everyone's so afraid for their jobs. They don't want to. It's not. You can't be your authentic self anymore.
Okay.
And that's the main issue, the problem.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. No, that is a problem.
Yeah.
Because you were the only real one, really, on that show, and it's the Real Housewives. But when you're too real, it's too much.
Yeah.
At least in this environment. One last thing. You heard from someone. I don't know if you want to say from whom. That they are scrambling to edit to make Heather look more likable.
Yes.
They're scrambling to re-edit the upcoming show to make
I don't know
Heather
how you could
more
possibly
likable.
do that. I don't understand how you could possibly do that.
And someone said they better have some damn good editors.
That's funny.
It is funny, but obviously, if that's true, they realize that she is alienating people left and right. The numbers are down. They have crept down for the last 3 weeks.
I can't wait to see what the numbers are next week.
Yeah. And we both went into the season with nothing but love for the show, nothing but love for Bravo.
I'm just I'm just sick and tired of these articles coming out and saying that the ratings are better this year than last year. They're not.
They're not. The ratings are not better. The ratings are worse.
And saying that Heather is cleaning up what I messed up last year.
No, I can see why that would piss you off.
So I say things like God's way of thinning the herd because I read something that Darwin, things happen like this from time to time, like every century. Like the Spanish flu was the last time. There are pandemics, there are things that happen, but I was just reading something that is Darwin.
And by the way,
I didn't steal from burn victims. I didn't do a Ponzi scheme. I didn't do any of these things. So I'm sorry, I hurt a few snowflakes' feelings. Oh my God. Wow. Just an FYI, we're all gonna die. All right?
That's true.
That's the fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so let the live keep living.
The other thing
and not run scared.
You didn't say it on the show. That was the other thing. None of this stuff happened on the show.
Yeah.
It all happened off the show. So on the show, I thought you were always the most entertaining, the funniest, the coolest, the smartest, the sexiest.
I'm glad I'm not on this season. I get to go on vacations and do all this.
Well,
this is great. I like working with you.
Me too. I love doing
doing our podcast.
People are like, "Oh, Rick, now you're doing this on YouTube. You're talking about, a housewife
You
show
never
on
ever
YouTube."
watched Housewives before.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm having a blast. This is so much fun. I get to do whatever I want, and we're having the time of our lives, and we are taking full advantage of this time off and working in our own way.
Right.
And it's
And I think it's funny too when people go, "Why don't you get a job like the rest of us hard Americans?" Like,
yeah.
or like.
Well,
Why don't people just worry about themselves?
Yeah.
Like,
I am nearing
do-
retirement age. I mean, I'm almost 62 years old, so I could just, early retire. But I'm not retiring. We're doing this. We have a lot more stuff coming up.
Right.
We're buying houses. We're going to remodel houses, and who knows what else.
Yeah.
But I'm having a time of my life, and I love working with them.
And I wish everybody the best of luck. I hope everybody, is happy and healthy and want the best for everyone. So
We got New Year's coming up. We're going to do.
I hope this new year coming up is better for everyone.
I think it will be. 2022 is going to be a great year. It's time for the rebound for everyone. So on that note, thanks for being with us. If you're still here, thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel and for watching our stuff. And please go over to patreon.com and subscribe to our podcast because we have a lot of fun there too. And every week we have a new show. And our next show will be from the beach in Tulum.
Yep, we're going to Tulum. So see you guys in Tulum.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.